To beer or not to beer? That is the question. Whether 'tis too early in the afternoon to have one, or by celebrating 3 years, it's actually okay. Cheers, everyone. It's late in the afternoon. I'll just say that very quickly. I'm recording this a day early. Welcome to Thoughts on... I need a drum. Month 36 of living without a wage. I need a kind of trumpet chorus now as well. Month 36. Firstly, okay, where's time gone? How did I get here? Blah, 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 all the rest of it. But translate month 36 into years. 3 blimmin' years. 3 years since my last pay packet. I think actually, I think I'm in shock slightly. I need this beer. Haven't had any yet, but I'm giddy from the thought of it. Not the beer, the thought of the 36 months. You know, when I was sat here 36 months ago, or 35 months ago, doing Thoughts on month 1, my first month without a wage, I had sort of said to myself, let's see if it's possible to live by the land, live by my own wits for a year. I'd left my nursing job because my knees were wrecked. Even more wrecked today, I'm sorry. As I'm speaking to you, I'm rubbing them. Yeah, so I'd left that job because I physically just couldn't do it anymore. I knew I had to leave. I didn't know what was going to happen. I had looked into, my doctor said that she would support me on this, about maybe I could have some benefits for a while until I could sort myself out. And I said, no, actually, maybe this is the opportunity, the golden opportunity that I've been waiting for, the kind of the push comes to shove moment of realising a lifetime dream, which very simply was to live a more self-sufficient and simple life. But way back then, I said I'd give it a go for a year. And at the time, I honestly didn't think I would be able to sustain myself beyond a year. You know, there were times when I thought I wouldn't be able to sustain myself beyond even 6 months. So it just seems... For once, I'm almost speechless. Don't worry, this isn't going to be a 20-minute of silence of me going video. It'll be my usual lots of talking. But yeah, I'm staggered. Truly, I am. I think it hasn't quite sunk in yet. I've been so ridiculously busy in the last few weeks, trying to fit in, sort of doing a lot of voluntary stuff, which I'm so loving and feel really fulfilled by, but also trying to get on top of things with the garden. Everything's still running really late. I will catch up at some point. But yeah, things have been so crazy busy recently that I've hardly had time to even think about actually the enormity of what I'm saying today. That it is possible, with a small allotment, 100 square metres of growing, a small humble home, a little bit of using my wits, it is possible to survive without a wage for not just a year, but 3 years. So cheers, 3 years, yay! By the way, this beer was given to me. Thank you. So yeah, I'm sort of trying to take stock of it all a bit. Wow, how to try to encapsulate it all as succinctly as possible without me. I could probably waffle on for 10 hours. Don't worry, this is not a sponsored marathon video. It's not going to be 10 hours. Yeah, it's been a blast, it's been a joy, it's been challenging, it's been hard, it's been depressing, it's been uplifting, it's been everything in so many ways. Get your breath, Vivi, get your breath. I think all my life I've always dreamed of this idyll and my idyll is probably set in the south of France or on a Greek island somewhere, of living very simply in a little stone cottage. I have very, very few needs. I'm very humble when it comes to my home. I don't need a big mansion. I just need a one-room cottage or a barn to live in, a roof over my head to keep me dry, a fireplace to keep me warm, whatever it is. But yeah, this dream of living a much more simple life, feeding myself, doing everything for myself. When things break, I fix them. In some instances, that would mean learning new skills in order to be able to fix something. So it's always a bit of a dream. And without doubt, part of that dream was what I grew up with my grandparents whenever I was visiting them, with their gorgeous little home in Dorset, their half an acre, I think, or so, that they grew all their veggies on, that lovely, quiet village life. What I think I've come to realise as I've got older is, yes, we all have those dreams, I'm sure we all do. The dream of the cottage in the countryside, the tiny home in the countryside, whatever it is. But actually, dreams are just that, they're dreams. They're just up here somewhere, floating around. When we go to sleep at night, they may come to us. I think what's happened to me since stopping work is I've translated, instead of having dreams, I now have goals. I'm making that stuff tangible. Sorry, excuse me. I've had, for the last week, what feels like a bit of a cold. And I'm pretty sure I can't have a cold because I'm keeping away from people. I don't know if it's allergies, pollen, what have you. But anyway, sorry about that. So yeah, this dreams versus goals thing. The reality is dreams, I think dreams are hard to achieve because of that intangible, is it on or in? Intangible quality. It's kind of too big and too vague. What I've managed to do in the last 3 years is focus and thereby achieve. So my primary focus when I stopped work was, firstly, I've paid off my mortgage, that's great, the roof over my head is secure, but I do have to pay for things still. So the building that I live in, I own this, I own these bricks, this fireplace, I own them outright. I don't owe anyone anything for these. But the land the building sits on is rented, so I have to pay to rent to put my bricks on this land. I have to pay a community sort of a maintenance fund. We're all, liable for that, the building insurance, etc., etc. But sorry, I'm going to go all around houses today, I think. The bottom line was when I stopped work, my focus was, I don't have any money coming in, therefore I need to live a life where I don't have any money going out. And one of the biggest expenses, of course, is food. We can't do without food. So can I grow all my own food, or the vast majority of my own food? And obviously I'd had a few years of practice before I left work to see that, oh yeah, I can grow a lot of food. I think what I would say to anyone who is thinking about going the route I've gone is, don't do everything in one go. Don't give up your job and start a garden all at the same time. Start your garden now, have a go, see what you can do, learn, And then maybe a couple of years down the line, once you've started to get accustomed to the seasons and how much you need to grow, etc., then that's the time to give up your job, when you know that you can produce your own food. Don't give up your job before you know that you can produce some food. Because that's the essential, isn't it? So obviously I kind of, when I stopped work, I was quite confident that I would be able to grow my own food. And in a way, that was kind of the hook. That was the hook I was hanging everything on. Initially, it was all about, can I live by the food I grow for 1 year? That's it. And, excuse me, I had assumed that I would have to rely on savings and what have you to pay my bills along the way. I would do it for a year, and then during the course of that year, that would give me time to find work somewhere else, work that I could do without being on my legs. Not many options for that for me, because all my skills are people skills. And people skills, generally you're on your feet with people skills. I have no secretarial or admin-y or tech skills. I think I probably have a few by now because of running my own business. But anyway, so yeah, that was it. It focused me. It stopped being a dream. It became a reality of the goal of doing all my own food. But as time went on, it was apparent to me that yes, I can grow my own food. I need to add something else in now. I want to do something else so that I can pay my bills without using my savings. And I sort of scrabbled around in my brain, what skills do I have? What can I do basically as a subsistence farmer? What can I do? What can I trade? Is there something I can make? And by making it, go to market and trade that for the things I don't have. So for example, can I weave a basket, take it to market and trade it for some galvanized steel roofing, for example? Okay, I'm giving you a kind of an African example, but that's how my thinking started to change over the course of that first year. What can I do? What can I make to exchange for something else that I need? So I need to pay my bills. Occasionally I need to buy things for the garden, compost. Let's not even go compost gate. Occasionally I need to buy some clothes. Not many, and I get them secondhand. But I definitely knew that I would have to do something to fill that little bit of a gap. Racked my brain for ages, thought about teaching, but eventually, of course, I settled on a skill that I already had that I'd sort of almost forgotten about: sewing. I love sewing. I hadn't sewn for ages because of time, but I thought, you know what, if I can do some sewing, make some nice things and sell them, or do sewing like alterations for people. It's not a direct exchange in terms of, I'm not going to do a dress alteration for you and in exchange get some eggs. I wouldn't do that anyway because I don't eat eggs. But it was definitely the thought that I could do this, sell my stuff in exchange for money, and then that little bit of money I can then use to, pay bills or do repairs to the property, what have you. So that's been building over the last year and a half or so. I need to build that some more just to hopefully give myself a bit of sort of security. Yeah, I definitely need to. So what I would say to any of you is definitely, instead of having a dream that's, your tiny home in the countryside, your cottage in the countryside, it's too flimmy-flammy. Decide instead that you want to grow all your own food. So stay put, stay in your job, whatever it is, but just see if for a year you can grow all your own food, or the majority. if you're vegetarian or vegan. Once you see that you can do that, then you can start to think about other things, of, like I was saying about the exchange of, a skill. Yeah, fab. I do still dream about a cottage in the countryside, of course I do. One day. But actually that brings me on to something else. I made a few notes for myself because I didn't want to forget what I wanted to say. Oh yes, this is a big thing. Two things I want to say is that leaving work, one of the big things I wanted to do was to simplify my life. And I have simplified my life, but do not mistake simple or simplify for easy. It is not easy. And I don't mean that in a, oh, poor me, oh, it's been so difficult. I'm just being honest with you. My life is much, much more simple now. Excuse me. It's simplified in, for example, I don't care what clothes I wear each day anymore. I just don't care. All my clothes are gardening clothes. My life is simplified by having one wardrobe. I'm either in sweats or leggings and a top. That's it. There's no evening dresses, there's no afternoon dresses, there's no handbags, there's no shoes. I mean, I was never really a handbag and shoes person anyway. But there's no, hair and makeup and nails and There's none of that. My life is so simple, purely in terms of I get up in the morning, don't care what I look like. I honestly could not give two hoots. I just want to get on and enjoy my day and all the fun I'm about to have with it. So definitely I have simplified it, but simple doesn't mean easy. It would be far easier to go to work, get a paycheck, and then literally throw money at every single little problem or decision in my life. And of course I don't do that anymore. I don't have money to throw at problems and decisions. So every decision I make, that's what I mean about simplifying in a way. I'm trying to simplify all the decisions. So, for example, the getting up in the morning and not worrying about what to wear. Just put something on that's practical, that's either warm in winter or cool in the summer, and get on with your day. And the other thing about it not being easy is every single day, one's thoughts are about the food production. And if I'm not thinking about food production, I'm thinking about when am I going to get a chance to do some sewing? How am I going to pay such and such a bill, etc., etc. So when you're self-sufficient, self-reliant, however you want to phrase it, you are literally on 24/7. There's no day off. And even if you do take a day off in terms of that day you're not digging, that day you're not sewing, you're not doing any of those things, I can guarantee you, and I'm sure loads of you who've gone this route already will agree, that even if you decide to curl up on the sofa and read a book, or about every 20 or 30 minutes or so, your mind wanders and you think about what you should be doing all the time. So it's not easy from that point of view. You have to motivate yourself every single day to get out of bed and do the work. And sometimes the work is hard. It's physically hard work. Such as, at the moment, prepping the beds. Oy vey. And there are days when, I've got that pile of sewing next to the machine and I just think, oh, I just don't fancy sewing today. I usually try to, if I'm in that mood, if I really don't fancy sewing, I'll take myself off to the garden or I'll do something else. I'll do some writing, whatever it is. And I'll save the sewing for a day when I really want to do it. Because it's like baking. I don't want to sew if I'm not in the mood. because every stitch needs to be done with love and joy. Yeah, I'm an old hippie. Forgive me. Whatever. Excuse me a sec. These allergies. Oh my goodness. I'm just looking at what I wanted to say. Oh yeah, so I think the biggest thing I've learned in the last 3 years is you really learn the difference between want and need. You know, you hear people say, or I hear people say, oh, I need such and such. And I think, no, you don't need that. You don't need it. You want it. What I enjoy about my life now is where I need something, whether it's food, some warm clothing, light on a dull afternoon. Those things are things I need, and I fulfill my own needs by my own wits and creativity. The things I want, what do I want? Well, I want to jump on a train and go to the south of France again, like my sister did for me 3 years ago, nearly. I don't need that. I don't need a holiday. No one needs a holiday in terms of, you know, a beach holiday. I've really enjoyed that, actually. I've really enjoyed learning to decondition myself, if you like, to the bombardment over the years of whether it's advertising or friends chit chat, whatever it is, to say to myself, actually, no, I don't need that. I just don't need it. It would be nice, I'd like it, but I don't need it. And I think, again, this is one of my tips if you want to kind of go this route of living without a wage, is to say, if you're prepared to give up the things you want, you probably can manage to achieve the things you need. And then further down the line, who knows, maybe I will have a few of the things I want, but I'm not in a hurry to get any of them, if that makes sense. Although, I would quite like to dip my toes in the sea somewhere that's warm, not the UK. Oh my goodness. So yes, here we are, 3 years down the line. Have I learned a lot about myself? I think everything I've learned about myself was always there anyway, but this time has maybe put a spotlight on it. I've learned I'm way more resilient than I thought. I'm stronger than I thought I was. Except, this is a big thing, physically. This is going to be the issue going forward for me, I think, is how physically decrepit my body has become. Oh my God, I'm walking like a 90-year-old. I think my great aunt Teapot walks faster than me. Oh, God love her. She's fine, by the way, as are all my family. Yeah, I think, you know, there's no point having regrets, and there's no point saying, oh, I wish, if only, because what am I going to do? Turn back the clock? Can't do that unless someone invents a space-time, whatever machine. I definitely think going it on your own, going without a wage, I think it's probably for someone either younger than me or definitely someone fitter than me in terms of their osteo picture. I have slight concerns creeping in about how I'm going to continue with my current knees. Oh, let them get replaced. Slight concerns, but it's not going to stop me. It's not putting me off. So I would say maybe if you're in a similar situation to me in that your bones are knackered and you want to suddenly ditch your job and live a self-reliant life, think twice. Think twice strongly. Because I could overcome the problem of my knees if I spent a load of money on compost, but the whole point of what I'm doing is not spending. So, oh my goodness, yes. I don't mean that in a maudlin way. Look, it's all good. It's all been, I was going to say it's all been great. It hasn't all been great. There have been tough times. There have been a couple of times, I don't know, about 18 months ago, I literally had £60 to my name. 60 quid. That was it. I had bills due. And I was just like, what am I going to do? How am I going to do it? So I did some more sewing. Simple as that. Just do more sewing, sell more sewing. Despite those hard times when I was a bit worried about money for bills, despite the really hard times in spring when I've got to do the bed preparation, couldn't be happier. Could not be happier. I'm so grateful for the life I have. I'm grateful to me. I'm grateful to me because I've made it happen. But I'm sort of grateful to the universe that things somehow fell into place at the right time. Cheers to that. Gosh, that's not very much beer done, is it? I'm going to do a lot more when the camera's off. Well, I've got a 4-pack. So, yes. Wow. Bonkers. Mad. 3 years without a paycheck. Have a think on that for a minute in your own life. Imagine, oh God forbid this happens, but imagine if tomorrow you didn't have your job. How long would you be able to keep going? That's one of my biggest top tips to everybody is, whilst you are currently working and as I was, 3, 4, 5, 30 years ago, pay down your debts, get your debts paid off, stop buying unnecessary crap, stop being a consumer, just buy good quality every now and again. Stop buying stuff you don't need right now and instead focus all your energy on paying off your debts, whether it's credit cards, cars, mortgages, all that kind of stuff. Get it paid off so that if the worst ever happened to you and you were out of work, not by choice, but you were forced, then your outgoings are minimal. And you can keep yourself going by growing. Here's hoping. I need to have a lie down. It's all too much. It's all fantastic. I love it. So, what will the next 3 years bring? I have absolutely no idea. Still have my little dreams. Still have that little dream of the countryside place. Will it happen in 3 years? Gosh, no. I doubt it very, very much. A, because of the state of my knees, and B, because I love where I live. I'm part of a really fantastic community. I adore it. I don't want to leave it anytime soon. So actually, my little dream life, I'm having it already. I have it here. That dream of living in a village. I already do live in a village. Because what is a village? Well, if we're being strict, it's a small group of houses. It's a small place. I live in London. It's a big place. But the little part of London I live in, where my post office staff know me, the corner shop guy knows me, the greengrocer knows me. I walk down the street, I'm saying hello, morning to everybody. Isn't that kind of like village life? And isn't my little simple dwelling here, isn't that a cottage? Well, it is to me. It's the cottage in the sky. And okay, so the allotment is a walk away and it's not my back garden, but it's still my place to grow veggies. I've just realised I'm going to get really weepy now. I've already got my dream. It's here. It's now. I'm living it. I'm loving it. And I thank you all so much. I'm going to raise my glass to you now. I know that some of you have been watching right since the very first video I made back in March 2017. It was before I'd actually left work, but that's when my first video was. So, well, to new subscribers, thank you for joining and coming along for the ride. To my oldest of old subscribers, thank you so much for sharing in this journey with me for the last 3 years. I cannot believe where we've all come to together. It's wonderful, magical, marvellous. Is there another M word? No, I'm going to leave it. Mayhem! Yay for mayhem! I appreciate all your encouragement, your feedback, your ideas, your love. You've actually given me love over these years and said, yeah, you're doing a great job, keep going. So, cheers to you. Cheers to me doing 36 months without a wage. And, massively, here's to my next 3 years. Not just my next 3 years, but our next 3 years together. If I keep doing this. Not self-sufficiency, YouTube. I'm sure I will. I enjoy it so much. So, thank you all. A massive cheers to you all. I will see you again really soon. You'll be seeing me out in the garden. But until then, please look after yourselves. Spread love and enthusiasm and joy wherever you can. Right, I'm off to down this. Ta-ra!